use of machinery to save my people money. Ambassador, how sad it is that we have strayed from the dream. What a world it could have been. How sweet life was at first. The streams of fresh water, the sheltered coves, the beaches of soft white sand. Gomez, I created the sulfur works and the salt works. Why shouldn't my relatives work for me? I have my own sugar mills and cattle ranches. I believe in money. What's wrong with that? I sent men to jail to make them useful. I kept the currency hard. I stopped the cattle thieves. I built the roads. I uprooted every obstacle. I brought meat to the capital. I can't do it, dear God. I can't do it. I quit. It's the boy talking, you know. It's too horrible. I quit. I quit. Priest, how could we do this? It's degrading. How could we do it? Boy, I guess we had to. I guess we had to do it. I feel like asking forgiveness. Who do I ask for forgiveness? Priest, I don't know how we started in the first place. Gomez is insane. Can you imagine him actually running a country? Can you see him? Boy, it's the ambassador I really hate with his tennis balls and his golf balls and his medicine ball. He was down here sucking oil. He was unloading crates of guns. His hands are raw from the crowbars pressing into his palms. His eyes are red from paper and straw. His belly is flat. I saw it from running up and down our beaches. Priest, I'm thinking of what men used to call justice. I'm thinking of the Egyptians walking into their temples and the Jews into theirs. I'm thinking of the Greeks finally burying the darkness. No more blindness, no more castration and mutilation and stoning. I'm thinking of the acts of mercy, the judges finally walking into the courtrooms with smiles on their sweet faces. Boy, maybe you should talk to me about the village in Central Park and the iron gates of Columbia University. Tell me about the taxi cabs lined up on Madison Avenue. Tell me about the windows at Bloomingdale's and those dear Santa Clauses ringing their bells in the snow. For Christ's sake, who are you now? Are you crazy? What are you doing? Put down that stick, you asshole. Gomez, kneel, kneel, in the name of holy doctrine, in the name of Spain, in the name of the Inquisition, in the name of Europe, in the name of civilization, in the name of this life, in the name of the life to come. Boy, who are you, Gomez? Are you crazy? Why are you rolling your eyes? Columbus, I take possession for their most serene, exalted, and mighty king and queen, our sovereigns, rulers of Spain and the islands of the sea, enemies of the Muslims and the Jews, and all those who will not confess or convert. I call your attention to their greatness and justice and their charity to all oppressed nations. I challenge anyone, either on horseback or foot, to deny my rights to take this place by force. Here is my banner. Here is my cross and column. Here is my paper. Here is my pen and ink. Boy, you son of a bitch. Who are you with those vague eyes and that smug, poetic face? Do you think I've never seen the gilded statue in front of the school or the one in the park reaching out for love? Do you think I don't know your heart is a stone, that your tongue is running red with blood? Columbus, I come from heaven. I'm here to save you. I come from the sky. Boy, you come from hell. You are from hell. Columbus, listen to me. My city is made of stone. My king and queen sit under a gold canopy. Dear child of sweetness, here are tiny bells and a red cap and sugar and pieces of glass. You'll love Spain. We'll give you a little house. You'll no longer be in exile. You won't have to lament your lost land and your banishment. I'll always be there to lead you. You can even travel with me if you want to through the warm sea off Andalusia and hear the soft hush-hush as the weeds go by. Spain will love you in your naked sadness. Boy, fuck all of Spain and Europe and the cross and the compass and all that charity and sweetness. Fuck this universe shaped like a rotten egg and you and your ships and you and your sons and your brothers. Columbus, I bring you more than you could ever dream of. One day there will be a school here and a church. There is a square and there is the gibbet. There is a storehouse for the gold. I know you never solved the problem of storage. There is the palace. There is the tribute room. There is the great museum of nature. All your trees and flowers will be on display. There is the hospital. We'll have raisins and almonds for the sick. You will go to work to make yourself rich. We will ride horses. We will find gold. Gold is most excellent. Gold constitutes treasure. Gold can bring your soul to paradise. I will feed the hungry and clothe the naked. I will heal the sick and bury the dead. Boy, if I could kill you with this piece, if I could, I'd kill you with this piece of glass. I wish I had the iron. I wish it was me landing on the coast of Ireland. I wish it was me getting my army together to march on London or Paris or through those boring plains to Madrid. Oh, would I burn your churches. Priest, We're hurting each other. We're hurting each other. Boy. Well, don't fuck with me. Priest, that's the last time. Boy, you're damn right it's the last time. Priest, come on, let's start a fire. It's getting cold. It's 5 more minutes and I'll be done this act. Boy, the smell of smoke is the smell of misery. Priest, okay, a little fire won't kill us. Boy, our eyes are red from fire. Priest, without it we would still be living in pain. We would still be following the little light and coming together in tiny bands. Dear Prometheus, boy, I know all that. Prometheus stole the energy of heaven. For him it was the end of darkness. For him it was the true beginning. Zeus was a bastard. Priest, I love to think of fire at night when I am lying on top of my bed. I sometimes see the flames rising through the whole universe, burning away everything, corrupt and rotten. I sometimes think of a fox racing like a small torch from field to field, setting the grass and trees on fire, cleaning everything before it. Sometimes I see my life in smoke, with me wandering through the ashes. Boy, I'd like to put a sheet of paper over the coals and watch it burn. At first you see a kind of glow, and then it suddenly curls up and floats away. I wonder if cavemen hibernated before they discovered fire. Who are you talking to now, crazy man? Priest, I was saying goodbye to the dress. Boy, throw it in the fire. Priest, do you think the gilded man dove into the lake to appease the buried god or to get his wisdom and power? Boy, I don't know. I don't understand those things. Priest, maybe he was purging his race of sin or sickness. Do you know it was a giant meteor dropping out of the sky that made the hole in the first place? Think of that. The myth of paradise begun by a hot stone hitting the ground. I wonder if the Indians believed in it too, or if they just gave the lunatics what they wanted, or gave them just enough to keep them moving. Golden temples in the jungle. Maybe it was an Indian joke. Boy, I have a question to ask you. Do you think I'm being too hard on my country? Do you think there is a chance? After all, we've changed, haven't we? Haven't we changed? Priest, I go through that agony all the time. I don't, come on, the fire's almost out. It's really cold. Boy, you know, fire is the one element that exists alone and refuses to allow the cohabitation of any other element. Priest, no fucking with fire. Boy, clown through a flaming hoop. Priest, red star over Bethlehem. Boy, light from the sun of the resurrection. Priest, Watson Harlem. Boy, eternal exile. Priest, Quixote's voyage for the deliverance of the world. Boy, look, the boat's leaving now. I don't think I'll ever get to North America. What would I do there anyhow? Line up for my welfare check? Go to college and study data processing or nursing? Turn in my English papers? Find a little girl whose mind's on fire with music and poetry and end up moving from slum to slum? Priest, Brooklyn's the place for you. I understand Flatbush is having a comeback. You could go to either Brooklyn College or NYU. With a memory like yours, you'll have no problem with college. I'll help you. Look at that star over there, 1 billion miles from the earth. Campanello is probably washing himself in the flames. Dante is probably explaining the sweetness to Virgil. Boy, it is a beautiful night. Life is still good and full of pleasure and hope. Priest, no fucking with hope. Boy, climb through a flaming hope. Priest, hope over Bethlehem. Boy, hope from the son of the resurrection. Priest, hope in Harlem. Boy, no fucking with Harlem. Priest, no fucking with the stars. That's it. Thank you very much. That was a little longer than I intended to go. It's actually 1 hour and 10 minutes. And you were very patient. And that's the first time I've read that aloud to any audience. And it was hard. I just read you the third part, which is a result of endless dialogue between the two of them. After a few minutes, well, there's cheese over there and wine. And I have, as David said, if you're interested, copies of 2 books over there for sale. And however, maybe you have a question or two or an observation to make, which I'd be delighted to respond to or avoid, as the case may be.
Just a point about William Blake. I have to argue with you on that. I think he was anything but a religious poet.
Anything but a what? I didn't hear your
He
adjective.
was essentially a very religious poet. I think his objection to what he called nobody was the concept in the West of a kind of an abstract geometric old And he rejected that concept of God. He accepted, however, the divine presence in men. I mean, he was very, very concerned about the divine image in man. And
Okay, wait, let me just interrupt you for 1 second. I agree with you completely. I just want to point that out. I didn't suggest that Yeats was irreligious at all. And what you say is absolutely correct. I said that he flirted with Gnosticism. Which,
I think anything Blake.
what? Who did I say? Oh, Blake.
No, but you see,
Blake, we're talking about Blake. And Gnosticism is a religion.
yes, I know, but it's very, Blake, as a matter of fact, was anything but a Gnostic, because the thing he embraced in his prophecy was that the fact that the tiger and the lamb
Are interrelated. That was an early poem of his.
that they coexist in the world.
I hear you.
He never really knew.
Well, okay. I don't want to argue the point. Seriously, I would like to discuss it with you, but let me just say this. No, I interrupted you. I'm sorry. No, it's hard to pin any poet on and say that he is an example of this particular point of view. Yeats was a very complicated man who led a very long life and did a number of things and changed his mind often.
Well, I'm teaching Blake right now.
Yeah.
And I'm very absorbed in his philosophy and his perspective.
Do you think it's incorrect to suggest that he flirted with Gnosticism?
Not that he certainly was aware of it. I think, but he was anything but a Gnostic. Yes. I think he's the most of all the poets of the past few centuries. I think he's the most relevant to our own day. And as we saw in the 1960s.
Are Gnostics opposed to mystics?
No, not at all. No.
Gnostic could be
The two are a Gnostic indeed can be a mystic, could he not? In fact, he is a mystic.
On the positive side, I might add that I really enjoyed the book.
Okay, I didn't take it as what you said in any way as a criticism. I'm delighted to hear you, and there are different ways of interpreting Blake. I'm sensitive to. I'm a little sensitive to the tradition that he operated in identifying what he called Yahweh with Nobodati. Do you think that is incorrect?
Yes, I think the Hebrew understanding, the ancient Hebrew understanding, I don't think he would necessarily be antagonistic to that concept, but I think he believed that the kingdom of heaven.
To what concept? He wouldn't be antagonistic to Judaism?
No, I don't think it necessarily. Not early Judaism. I think he'd be.
Well, no, wait. No, what do you mean? You mean pre-Christian Judaism? You say early Judaism?
Yes,
That's the whole point I'm making.
I think he objected to the deism that was prevalent. That kind
So the Jews object to deism. Deism was just as reprehensible to Jews as to Christians. More so, as a matter of fact.
That's why I agree with you that he would not object to Yahweh as was understood by.
Except that he did by name, unless he was speaking, concealing what his intentions were. By name, identify Yahweh, and I wish I could identify the work where he did this as a inferior creature, inferior person.
The position in Marriage of Heaven and Hell, he does marry the two, the idea of the forces of evil and the forces of good. I think he sees them still existing in the world, and therefore he's not agnostic. But I
All right.
rest my case.
Okay. All right. You may be right. But the poem okay, and I must point out that the poem does not to avoid collision, rise or fall with identification of Blake with Gnosticism. The poem is not about Blake. Pardon?
I say I enjoyed your poetry very much.
Thank you. Well, any other comments?
Why don't we break for?
Somebody had a hand over here, though, didn't he?
I did.
Yeah.
I was going to move that we wander around and drink wine while we.
Oh. Great.